Recently, I've seen a lot of people talking about how they can make a meal plan for under $50. So today I decided to design a meal plan based on things I already had in the house, try to reduce my grocery bill as much as possible, and try to use the kind of ideas from Project Pantry to really make sure no food in this house is going to waste and everything is getting used before we even consider buying something new. I have some bananas that are incredibly overripe, so we're going to be making some banana bread today because again, we hate wasting food. In honor of Earth Month, this video is inspired by the Lorax. I really love the story of the Lorax, not just because the Lorax's mission is to help speaking for the trees and for those who cannot speak for themselves, but this story also brings hope and responsibility. It also brings an awareness to the consequences of our actions. And I feel like it also kind of asks us the question to take accountability for unchecked growth and really challenging harmful industries that destroy our natural world. It's also my nephew's birthday this month, so I really wanted to gift this book to him. This is a great book, especially for kids, because it's not just about saving trees, it's also about shifting our focus and our role from being consumers to being caretakers. I'm making this jumper which also has a loon motif, and it has some of the colours as a kind of nod to the Lorax. We have the purple of the truffle trees, and then we have one yellow loon to signify the Lorax. And this is actually made from a jumper that I thrifted, unraveled and upcycled, trying to shift that from being a consumer to being a creator. Okay, I've made my list. Here it is. I need to go shopping and then I'll show you how much money I spend and exactly what I am making with all of this food. So in order to make sure my grocery bill was as small as possible, I went through all of my cupboards and made sure I was looking to see what I already had first. And to be honest, this was a good thing because it was quite surprising how much food I had bought without any thought. So this week I ended up spending $29.85, mostly on fresh ingredients to boost the things that I already had, and making a meal plan around what I already had made sure that my bill was much cheaper. To cut down on how many ingredients I had to buy, I decided to make 2 recipes that would both have chickpeas in them for the week. I decided to go for dry chickpeas because they are so much cheaper and they do also taste better. I use my Instant Pot for this because it makes it very quick, but you can make them on the stove. But also, if you can't be bothered, you can also just buy canned. I started off by making a palak tofu. I basically had all of the ingredients for this recipe. The only things I didn't have were a couple of fresh tomatoes, 2 serrano peppers, and the spinach. Everything else is something that I keep in the cupboard most of the time. I happen to have some cashews, which, because they're quite expensive, I don't use them as often, so they do tend to sit in the cupboard until I deem them worthy of being used. This, of course, was a recipe where I definitely felt that way, and I decided to double up the recipe so that I could make at least 8 meals from this one recipe. Because it has tofu in it, I don't tend to freeze it. I prefer to put it in the fridge and then eat it over the next couple of days. This will be 8 portions for 2 people, so it'll be about 4 dinners. Or if we want to have it for lunch, of course that is possible, but because it is a heavier meal, we do tend to eat this in the evening instead. Whenever I meal prep, I always make sure to grab all of the scraps from any vegetable peelings. It doesn't matter if they're the outside of garlic or onions. I'm going to be making a veggie broth with this later. And one of the secret ingredients I always put in is some dried shiitake mushrooms because they make such a big difference to the depth of flavor. One of the ways the Lorax has inspired this video is the way that we view food and the value that we put on things that we might consider waste. It's such a sweet and charming book, but it also comes with a lot of lessons. And it really helped me to view all of the food that I would consider waste usually as something that is actually a valuable resource that can be remade and reused into something else. You'll see this when we make our banana bread, but I actually use the banana skins as well as something that I can use in my garden. When bananas get this ripe, people will often think that they are no good anymore, but this is actually the perfect ripeness to make banana bread. Now, making banana bread, I now actually make it in specific portions. This helps me to reduce food waste because I can have the portion that I want and then store the rest of it in the freezer so that they don't go off. Because there are only 2 people in my household, if things do get left out, then it's very hard for us to make sure that we eat it all before it goes off, unless we store it properly. So I like to store my banana bread in the freezer because it just works, it lasts a lot longer. And then when I really want some, I will take it out, maybe an hour or so before, and it defrosts very, very quickly. I know I talk about food waste a lot, but I think it makes a really big impact on your grocery bill. Not only are you saving food from actually going to waste, you're also just making sure that the money that you've earned is not going to waste either. I've heard that you can actually make a fertilizer with banana skins, so I don't really want these to go to waste if they don't have to, so I'm going to try making a fertilizer with these. My strawberry plants have also come back from being dormant over winter, and it's really exciting having things like perennials that you can have just coming back every single year. And strawberries are they seem to be quite low maintenance, especially if you live in the area that I do where you don't have as many pests to worry about. And also reading the Lorax and getting to the end of the book, it kind of really inspired me to get back into planting seeds and planting my garden. This year I've been a bit slow to planting things, but I kind of feel reinvigorated, especially at the end of the book. It talks about how things won't change unless people like us care an awful lot, which I think is a really lovely message. And it kind of just inspired me to be like, do you know what? I love fresh herbs, and that is something that's very easy to do. So this morning I planted some basil seeds as well. Basil is something that I love growing. It does often come in plastic packaging, so it's quite nice, and it also is quite expensive. So it's quite nice to be able to grow something like that yourself and have something to take care of. Growing your own food is immensely satisfying, and I would always recommend it to everyone, even if it's just one small pot of herbs. Okay, before we continue with our meal prep, I'm gonna see if I can turn this into a fertilizer. Okay, according to the internet, it's actually very simple. All you do is chop up your banana skins, put it in some kind of vessel with some water, and then because banana is supposed to have a lot of potassium in it, over the next 24 hours that potassium is supposed to go into the water, and then in the day's time you can use that to water some of your plants. I'll be very intrigued to see if this actually works, and then once those banana skins are done, I can give them to my worms to compost, and then I can use that compost later in the garden. These sweet potatoes were actually the most expensive thing on my grocery list this week. I didn't quite realize how expensive they were, and I might not have bought them if I knew, but they actually came out at almost $8 for these 4, and they were actually on offer, so I'm quite surprised. They are organic, which means they are more expensive, but yeah, $8 for 4 sweet potatoes. Honestly, this kind of inspires me to try and grow some sweet potatoes myself. But anyway, this was the first recipe that I used some of the chickpeas that I made earlier in. First of all, I baked the sweet potato just because I could do something else while those were cooking. And then I made a very, very simple sweet potato, chickpea and chard curry soup. I tend to overcomplicate recipes or make recipes that take a very long time. So I thought if I'm going to make something nice like the palak tofu, I want to make something that tastes good but takes a lot less effort. So that's why I chose this recipe. I also wanted to choose some root vegetables and some more wintry things like chard, and then be able to use a lot of cupboard essentials that I already have. Because this is more of a liquidy soup, sometimes I'll add some rice to it and sometimes I'll just have it as it is. But I did also want to meal prep some rice with a little bit of quinoa. This really helps to boost the fiber of the rice, but it also helps to extend how much I'm using of the quinoa, because obviously quinoa is very expensive, but it does have some good benefits like extra fiber and protein. But just to kind of extend it and make it last a bit longer, mixing the two together kind of gets me exactly what I need and what I want from that main dish. I made this dish with every intention of eating it over the next couple of days. That's the only reason why I added the chard in now. Okay, so next I decided to make apple pie oats. I have made this in a previous video where I did the kind of viral meal prep video where I tried that method with the different cubes, and for me that works really, really, really well. So I have made this a couple of times before, and it's one of those just very easy recipes that I can throw together and then take out the freezer and make a very low effort breakfast. It also just doesn't really take very long to prepare as well. If you have a microwave, this is very easy to prepare in the morning. I unfortunately don't have space for one, so I just put it in a pan and put a lid on and just kind of let it cook down on a very low heat for 10-15 minutes while I'm doing something else. It's really as simple as that, and I always make sure that the two things are separate, where you put the apples on the bottom and the oatmeal on the top. Now, I had quite a few things left over from my lentil video, like some green lentils, which I don't tend to reach for when I make recipes. So this was a perfect recipe to make to use up those green lentils, as well as some dried mushrooms that I had. Now, I bought a massive thing of dried mushrooms because at Costco it was like $10, and I thought that that's an incredible deal because mushrooms tend to be very expensive when they're dried. So whenever I make a recipe that calls for a kind of porcini mushroom powder or any kind of umami powder or mushroom broth, that's when I tend to reach for these mushrooms. I don't like to use them too often because I do feel like they are a special ingredient and I want to use them to their maximum potential. But this recipe was perfect for basically using all the things that I already had in my cupboards. I think the only things I had to buy for this were the actual mushrooms, the fresh mushrooms that also went into it, and maybe one onion. But apart from that, this is a really good cupboard staple. I did forget to buy some tortilla shells for this, but I do have some bigger tortillas in my freezer. So I'm just going to make like a wrap with this instead of the smaller tacos. I did actually forget to blitz the lentils in the food processor separately, so I ended up putting this mixture back in the food processor before giving it a good cook. And this recipe is actually part of the recipe developer's kind of ultimate crunch wrap supreme recipe. So it's just like an extra thing on one of her big lists, but all that information will be in the description below. After I made this, I put it into 2 airtight containers and put it in the fridge. Okay, it's just about time to make our vegetable stock. And what I'm going to do first is I'm going to brown everything in the pan, add a little bit of salt, and then I'll add a ton of water and I'll cook it down for maybe an hour. And then we'll taste it and then maybe add another hour. Apart from all the shavings and stuff that I have used throughout this meal prep, I've also gone through the fridge and kind of picked out some of the things that need eating. So I've got half a red onion here, and I've got 1 carrot, and then I've also used all the stems of the mushrooms that I didn't use for the taco meat. I'm also going to use a couple of dried shiitake mushrooms because they add just an incredible amount of flavor. You only need a couple of them. I might put 3 in, or maybe 4, just because I like that deep umami flavor that kind of really sets in when you make it for a long time. But I have just finished my olive oil and my avocado oil, and I was just thinking that's probably one of the biggest reasons why this meal prep so far this week has been much more budget friendly, because I haven't had to replace some of those bigger items. The only thing I had to replace as like a standard thing in the kitchen was some peppercorns, and I think that was only $3.50. I went for the more affordable option that I could find. So I think I'm gonna make another one of these videos when it's a more expensive week, so you can see the discrepancies and the differences between the weeks depending on what I have to refill as some of the standard things like oil, because oil is a lot more expensive, and that probably would have increased our grocery bill by at least $10, let alone having to replace some of the other oils as well. But let's get on with making our veggie broth, and I'm gonna try and make at least 8 cups worth, maybe even double that, 16 cups worth, and see how much salt or some herbs that I have to add to make it taste really, really good. Once I had gotten the veggie broth going, I moved on to making some sourdough. Sourdough is very budget friendly and very affordable, but it is very time consuming. So it's one of those things which you have to decide whether it's worth it for you. Again, since I could discover that I could buy my favorite flour from places like Costco, I'm able to get a much bigger bag for half the price. And so I can make quite a few more loaves of sourdough for a much more affordable price, which makes it much more worth it for me. I've also developed a much lazier approach to making sourdough, which is very much more convenient for me. So I can kind of fold it while I'm in between editing or doing other admin work. But there are ways that you can do it on the weekend and kind of set it and forget it for the day. After I mixed my dough, I moved on to my last recipe, which was a sticky sesame chickpeas. And I used the chickpeas, the rest of them that I had pre-made earlier in the Instant Pot. It's a very cupboard essential recipe for me personally. I have a lot of these ingredients already in the cupboard, and it's very quick. It comes together in probably less than 10 minutes. Really, I should have made double what I made because this is such a good recipe and it was so delicious that I think we actually ate most of it for lunch that day. I think when it comes to meal prep, I need to start doing things where I like chop and prep veggies and put them in the fridge, because this recipe was just begging for some kind of green. But I just ate it with the rice and quinoa that I had made, and I didn't add anything like broccoli or anything like that, which I really should have because it would have made it better. When my dough was ready, I got the starter and added that in with some salt. Again, I like using this flaky salt, but it's so expensive in the US, so I was able to get a big tub of it for the same price as one of those small boxes. Depending on how warm my house is, I like to let it bulk rise for at least 6 hours, maybe a bit longer. I don't tend to care if I've overproved it or not because it still tastes really good and I just get to it when I can. When the veggie broth was ready, I strained it through a sieve and then I just put it into whatever jars that I have. I probably will try to use this within the next week, but I'm sure I could freeze it and it would last just much longer. Every hour on the hour, I did some stretch and folds for my dough, and then I put it in the fridge after shaping it so I could bake it in the morning. I baked both loaves. I made 2. One I like to put in the freezer, or I like to gift it to a friend. And for this one I did 25% rye flour and 75% white bread flour. Now, I bought some pinto beans from the supermarket and I wanted to give it a go by trying to actually grow them. So a couple of days ago, I put some water in there and waited to see if any of them would actually sprout. And they did, which was pretty amazing. So I decided to actually plant them in the garden to see if I can grow some beans and be a little bit more self-sufficient this year. Obviously, I'm experimenting with a few things, but I'm very excited to see how it turns out. I have just planted some pinto beans that I bought from the supermarket as a little bit of an experiment because I want to see if I can grow my own beans from supermarket beans. I've definitely seen some other people doing it online and I thought, what a fun thing to do. But this video has definitely re-inspired me to get back into planting seeds for this summer. I don't know why I've just been preoccupied with other things this year and I kind of completely forgot to plant seeds early. But I have been propagating quite a lot of my plants. My money plant, I have like quite a few of these that I have propagated and replanted, and I gifted one to a friend. So I've definitely still been planting things, just kind of focused on other areas. Whilst kind of trying to reduce my bill as much as possible this week for groceries, I have also noted down all the things that I ran out of, which is a really good sign, and things that I have to then replenish. I always like it when I finish something because it means I'm actually using the stuff that I'm buying. And I know with the meal plan this week, to some people it might feel very obvious. Yes, obviously your bill is going to be cheaper if you just use the things you already have. But honestly, sometimes when I can't be bothered, like I don't have the brain space to think about a meal plan ahead of time, I kind of think I have a few things and then I'll buy some other stuff. And then it's always pretty amazing to me when I can actually reduce my bill like really dramatically just by looking through all my cupboards and making sure I'm planning a whole meal plan based on what I already have. But I'm going to do another video where I do another week with a slightly more expensive week, because things that I already have to replace. Rice, we ran out of rice. I buy a massive bag of rice and that has lasted us, I think, about 3 months. I also buy a really big bag of all-purpose flour. I think this costs maybe $10, maybe $15 from Costco, but I have been using that for all kind of baking, for feeding my sourdough starter, and that has lasted me so far about 2.5 months, and I'm probably only 2/3 of the way through it. The same with rice, olive oil, avocado oil, and I've also run out of soy sauce. So those are some things that I'm gonna have to replace. But the moral of the story is, for me personally, meal planning is the way that I can reduce my food bill as much as possible. And I have noticed ever since I started this whole Project Pantry series, I've been thinking a lot more about what to try and trying new recipes that actually already incorporate a lot of ingredients that I buy and use a lot daily. And I try to only buy things in bulk if they're something I use a lot of. But yeah, this week I tried to reduce my grocery bill by, I think, a 75% for 2 people, and I'm pretty happy with what I was able to do this week. The next week will probably be different because a lot of the things I'm gonna have to buy, but I'm also going to try and grow as many herbs as I can this summer. So I've already planted my basil seeds. I'm gonna plant some coriander seeds and then maybe also some parsley and get a mint plant, and maybe also rosemary because rosemary is expensive. But yeah, that's how I did this week. Hopefully I will do even better next time. But thank you very much for watching. I hope that you got something out of it, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up if you did like it, and maybe consider subscribing. I have another video I think you might like if you liked this video right here. Okay, I'll see you next time. Bye.